Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 33 of What If Naruto Was Neglected by Everyone. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto's from the two greatest clans and enjoy that guys. And also over on Anime King 2, I post a new episode of What If Naruto Was a God Amongst Man, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And later on, stay tuned because I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Orochimaru Was Naruto's father, so stay tuned for that and I hope you guys do enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. And yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, the last spot we left off, Naruto arrived at the meeting as they all were on guard when he arrived, but he simply got a chair and sit down as Oniki started to voice his complaints as he was getting rather pissed. This one boy think that he could take on the entire world and still survive, as Naruto told him that he is stronger than all of them combined. They, over the years, have created sealing techniques for the Bijus because they see them as nothing but beasts under them. So right now, he sees them as nothing but beasts as well. So, he should be in control of everything they do and say. He should be in charge of the world because in this world, it's the powerful that survive. As Oniki lashed out, as he started to curse, as Naruto turned, he turned towards Kurosaki and asked, "Is she the next to become Mizukage once he passed?" As that got Oniki on alert, as he didn't want to chance anything, as he did his particle style jutsu and trapped Naruto into a cylinder, as it exploded up on the inside, as he waited. But Naruto was resting against the wall, looking through the window, as before they could do anything, everyone was blown away as Naruto released his power, as Naruto held on to Oniki rather tightly, as the man tried to move but Naruto smashed him into the ground, as Oniki could feel his bones broke, as the others tried to intervene but Naruto's power stopped all of them from moving, as they couldn't even get up, as Naruto opened a dimension, as he threw Oniki inside. The last thing they heard was the man scream before it shut, as Naruto told them that Mizukage is now dead. He then turned towards Mei and told them that she's been on his side all along, as she stood there shocked. She didn't know that he would say something like this, as she didn't know how to respond to that. As she looked at the others, as Naruto told them that she wouldn't be helping them in the war, he opened a portal as he told her, Ayo and Kojo to go. As Ayo and Kojo didn't want to listen to him but Mei told them to go. Naruto then told Minato that soon enough you have to make a choice, and with that he went off. Later that night, Naruto could sense something. It was faint but he could sense it. He blasted off as he arrived upon the moon, where there was some sort of palace, a large hall as he entered, as he was greeted by a man standing there. As Naruto introduced himself, as the man introduced himself as Teniere Osusuke, the man found something strange about Naruto. He was something different, something that the man couldn't comprehend. As he tried to seek out Naruto's power, but he found something unending. As Naruto appeared in front of him and grabbed his head, as Naruto started to go through his brain, but Teniere pushed him off with a flow of energy. As Naruto stood there, as he looked at his hand, as Naruto realized Teniere was the descendant of Hagoromo, brother Hamura. Teniere also was going to try and destroy the earth, and he also wanted the pure Byakugan to get the Tensegan. As Naruto was then surrounded by others, as Naruto called them half-breed, as they started to attack him. This was a creation of the Sage of Six Paths. It's best if it's not here anymore since that man has no connection to the earth. As Naruto fly up in the sky, as his horns extended, As he was above the moon now looking down, Teniri tried to reach him but a force crashed right into him, pinning him down in the moon. As he was about to get up, Naruto dropped a small black ball as he fused all of his Truth Seeker orbs together with a great portion of his power, as the moon exploded. But seeing that the shards and the debris were falling to earth as Naruto didn't want any of them affecting the sound, Naruto incinerated all of them. All around the world, everyone was shocked as the moon was just destroyed. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself, so let's start this new episode. We begin this episode with Menma, Lace, and Konan, as the three of them was at the edge of the village, as they couldn't believe what they just witnessed. Did Naruto do that? Said Liz, as the moon was completely evaporated. As Menma looked up at the sky. Why would he do that? Menma wondered, as Konan just stood there. It was then they felt the tremors, as the entire earth started to shake. All around the elemental nations, Konoha, the sun, Kumo, the sand, everywhere, Kiri could feel tremors going through the earth, as they wondered what the hell was that. With Menma and Liz, they could feel it. It was Naruto. It was Naruto's power as it was circulating through the area. But he wasn't so far away. As Liz jumped off, Liz, wait, Menma said as he ran behind her, as Konan started to follow as well. The group arrived to a scene to see Naruto as he was just lying on the ground, as there was an ominous chakra around him, pure darkness, as it was surrounding his body. Naruto seemed to be unconscious, just lying there, as the chakra was spinning out of control. With Naruto not controlling his power, it was going wild, as they saw two giant tails emerge from Naruto. That was the 10 tails, as he started to smash into the ground, destroying the ground around him. 15 minutes earlier, Naruto just got back to Earth after he destroyed the moon, releasing his power like that, bringing such destruction that made him feel no longer human, as it made him felt godly even more. Recently, he hasn't really told anyone, but his emotion towards human and everything has become worn out, as he didn't understand the feeling. Well, he doesn't really feel anything anymore, as he hasn't told Menma and Liz about this, because he was scared a part of him. He was even losing feeling towards them. That's a part of him that didn't really care, as he tried to stop himself, saying that it wouldn't happen. But he was starting to not feel anything towards anyone, and he didn't like that one bit. As Naruto was heading back to the sound, he felt something hit him. It wasn't a outwards hit, it was an inside hit, as something was pushing him deep into his subconscious, as with that he just fall over and collapse. Naruto awoke as he was in a rather dark place. He couldn't even see his hand in front of him. Where the hell am I? He said, as he wondered if the Sage of Six Paths is messing with him. But no, this was different. You've just gotten power and you've become this shell, this hollow piece of crap, said a voice. As Naruto turned, as he saw torches lighting up on the wall around him, as he realized he was in a strange dome. The place was shaped like a dome. As he saw someone standing there, the person looked directly at him. He was surprised to see that it was himself, but it was not himself in his new form. It was himself when he faced off against Madara back then. As Naruto wondered what is going on, suddenly, his self stepped forward and slammed a fist in his face with such speed Naruto couldn't even see it, as Naruto fell down to the ground. Naruto tried to retaliate, but his body felt weak, like he didn't have any power. He was pushing against his power to release, but nothing. Outside in the real world, his power was releasing widely and destroying everything, sending tremors through the earth. Naruto looked up at himself. As his self kneeled down, he grabbed him by his shirt, holding him rather tightly. "Who are you?" his self said. "What?" said Naruto. "I asked you a question. Now tell me, who are you?" As Naruto didn't know what to say, himself didn't even know who he was, as he didn't know if he was an extension of Chakra, a being from Kaguya, or if he was Naruto anymore. Itself grabbed him by the face and slammed his head into the ground. As Naruto saw the place around him shift, they were now in Konoha. As the both of them were standing together, "Look at this place," inner Naruto said. "What do you feel?" As Naruto didn't know what to say, inner Naruto stepped forward as he poked him in the chest. "That's right, you feel nothing. Let me tell you why." As he grabbed Naruto harshly again. "You've been making your emotions slip away. Have you forgotten what they did to you? Have you forgotten what you went through? Have you forgotten the endless beatings, the torturing, the suffering, all of that? Have you forgotten all of it? You're becoming so wrapped up in this new power. You're losing all of your emotion. And you can control this power and have your emotion at the same time, but no. You're letting your emotions slip away. You think of yourself as becoming a god, like you're above everything, but you're not." Inner Naruto then grabbed him again as he smashed him into a nearby wall. As Naruto blinked, he was in a new place. He was surrounded by Konoha shinobis and civilians, a lot of them, as he saw Inner Naruto lean up against the wall with a smirk on his face. Suddenly, they started to attack him. As Naruto tried to fight back, but his body, it was like it wasn't even there. He couldn't feel his hands, anything. "You feel worthless, huh? Useless. Weak. Unable to fight against them," said Inner Naruto, as the people beat the crap out of him, stomped on him, punching his face, as some of them stabbed him with kunais and shurikens in his arm. As Naruto cried out in pain. It's been a while since he felt pain like this. It was unimaginable. It then clicked to him. This is what he used to felt back then. Suddenly, all the people vanish. "You're starting to understand," said Inner Naruto as he stepped forward. As the both of them appear where Kaguya was. Inner Naruto then looked at the coffin. As Kaguya emerged out of the coffin. As Naruto and Liz and Menma. As Naruto absorbed her. Naruto then saw something. A part of himself was cut. And Kaguya took that part. "What the hell was that?" Naruto said. "That was when you lost it. Your emotions were slowly slipping away. But ever since your last battle with the other half-breeds, like you call it, you lost all of it. If you had head back to the sound now, you wouldn't hear for anyone or anything. You would just see yourself as an ignorant, arrogant god. And I couldn't stand for that. Now, I want you to remember who the hell you are. And what you set out to do. Remember what Konoha did. Remember how you were going to change this world and put everything under your rule. Stop holding back. You have the power. Now do it!" Inner Naruto shouted. Suddenly, a spirit lifted from Naruto, as it was Kaguya. As her spirit started to be torn from his body, as Naruto started to let out a primal scream, as she was ripped away from him completely. As Naruto fell down, Inner Naruto extended his arm forward, as Naruto grabbed it. Back in the present time, Liz, Menma, and Konan watched, as neither of them could get near to Naruto. If they tried to go over there, the amount of pressure, they felt like they couldn't breathe. But they saw it stopping and slowing down. Behind them was sound shinobis who came out here to check as well. As everyone felt the area, as the tense in the air was vanishing. They watched Naruto's body fell to the ground. But then he picked up himself. As he looked at them, "Huh? What are you guys doing here?" he said. The trio walked forward, as the others just looked at them confused, wondering what the hell just happened. "Naruto, what just happened?" asked Liz. "It seems I was changing too much," Naruto said, "forgetting about my personality and what I truly desire." "What do you mean by that?" Menma asked. As Liz stepped forward, "Hey, you're back," she said. "Huh?" Menma said. As he then took a good look at Naruto, he saw it as well. Something was different. The smile on Naruto's face. "Naruto?" As Naruto gave them a smile. "Wait, what just happened?" asked Konan. As Naruto stepped forward, this power was slowly pushing away my emotions, but it seems they managed to break through. I was viewing the world in a very clouded sunglasses, but now I can see clearly now. I can feel What I was supposed to feel, Naruto said. He then gave Konan a smile, as this wasn't any ordinary smile, but she simply didn't look at his face. As Naruto then looked up in the sky. Oh, I guess I need to fix that, he said, because this would be a big part of my plan. I will need you all to step back, he said to them. Huh? Said Liz. Just a distance away, Naruto said, and tell them to do the same. As the group moved back, as Naruto slammed his hands together, as the ground around him started to break apart, small pieces of stone coming together until they form a giant moon that floated off the earth. As the thing was enormous, as people from the Soundville could see it from here. As Naruto raised his hand, as he then thrust his hand up in the air, the thing went up with incredible speed, soaring through the sky, until it left Earth's atmosphere. Divine placement, Naruto said, as the moon stopped in the sky, just resting there. Well, that's back to normal, Naruto said, as there was a connection between him and the moon, something he will utilize for later. Well, I guess it's time that we head back now, he said. The next day at Kiri, May was in her office. Right now she was at a out with all of the other nations. She wasn't doing any paperwork or anything. Things were really looking bad for her, as she has no doubt if they somehow manage to take her out, they will be coming after her next for what she did. And Kiri could not, no matter how strong she think it is, could not stand up against the three nations. She didn't think that she would be saying this, but she hoped that he wins. Because if he doesn't, her village will be destroyed for what she did. Her treason against the entire world for helping that man. Meanwhile, at the gates of Kiri, the guards were standing there, as they were on high alert, as they were told by their upper heads to be on high alert for anything. They then saw someone walking towards them, as they looked at him in shock, because his appearance has been going around. Long white hair, and those eyes, those hypnotic eyes with ripples in them, with tomos like the Sharingan. But he wasn't wearing his white cloak as usual. He was wearing a white shirt that had a black vest over it, with black pants and normal ninja boots. He looked rather casual, and his hair wasn't that long anymore. It was cut. As it stopped right into his back, it didn't went straight down. As Naruto was walking up to the gates, with a calm smile on his face, he looked at the two guards, as the both of them had their weapons in their hand, but he merely gave them a nod as he walked past, as the guards couldn't move. There was an aura coming from that man that made them scared. They felt like if they moved, their life would end. As Naruto walked straight into Kumo, people on the streets looked at him in pure shock, as they didn't expect this man to just walk in here like this. Naruto was then surrounded by at least 5 group of envoys. Now that you're here, you can take me towards the Mizukage. We don't have to do this in a hostile fashion, Naruto said, as Ayo stepped out of the crowd. What are you doing here, he said. Yes, I know you. You were at the meeting. As you know, me and the Mizukage has an alliance. And right now you know that the other nations are against her. So, if I were to fall, which I doubt will happen, your village will be on the next to fall. So, bring me to the Mizukage. And why should I do that? You're the most wanted person in the world right now. Even though what you speak is right, our village would be under attack the moment you fall. You're still a dangerous threat. Well, if you don't, I can simply end this right here and destroy Kiri myself. As Naruto said that, the ground started to rumble a bit, scaring the civilians. As Ayo saw the situation he was in, he waved his hand as the envoys back away. Follow me, he said, as he calmly walked. As Naruto walked behind him, looking around the village, as people were looking at him with disbelief, as he smiled at them. Suddenly, a ball hit Naruto's foot. As a little boy had his ball in his hand as it dropped from him, it rolled and hit Naruto's foot. As the ball was being held by the boy, as his mother was holding him in her arms right now and he accidentally dropped it. As Naruto kneeled down and picked up the ball, he then walked forward. As he went up to the shaking mother, he looked at her and gave her a gentle smile. Why was she scared again, she thought? This guy might be wanted around the nations, but he never did anything scary. Naruto raised his hand as he ruffled the boy's head. As he gave the boy back the ball, the boy took it with a smile. Thank you, he said. My pleasure, Naruto said as he walked off. As the woman stood there confused. As Naruto walked away, he was brought to the Mizukage's tower. As Naruto stepped in with Ayo, "You may leave us," Naruto said. As Ayo looked at the Mizukage, as she gave him a nod as Ayo left. The moment the door closed, "You can tell them to leave as well," said Naruto. "This talk is private." "What?" she said to him, as she understood what he meant. "You know what I'm talking about," Naruto said. "You can leave as well." As Mei waved her hand as the envoys left the room. "Why are you here? Our dealing was private. No one knew about it except for Kojo and Ayo. In this village, why have you showed up like this?" "Well, you see, I've recently went through some changes." "Changes? Haven't you changed enough?" she asked. "Well, no, this one is for the better. I recently started lost my feeling, all emotions lately, but I got them all back. And now I feel like I've wronged you," Naruto said. She scoffed. "So what are you saying, you're a good person now?" "Oh no, far from it," Naruto said. "It wouldn't take at least an ounce of my power to kill everyone here. But that's not why I'm here. At the moment, you've been a good person to me. You have followed my orders, given me information even though you were doing it out of fear. You've still been a good person. So when the world is mine, I will place you in charge of other villages." "Huh? And what do you mean by that?" "Well, you can pick and choose. What exactly do you want? You already have Kiri. If you desire more power, more wealth, I can give you Kumo or the stone." She then chuckled a bit. "So, let me get this straight. You're telling me that you're actually gonna give me a nation?" "Precisely," Naruto said. "Huh. So you're really gonna go up against the entire world?" "Yes, I am," Naruto said. "With your help, of course. I will be taking out the main threats. You can come with your cleanup crew after I'm finished." "What about Konoha then?" "Oh no. They won't be making it," Naruto said. "And what do you mean by that?" "Alright. A little secret between me and you. I'm going to incinerate the place." She looked at him. "What do you mean by that?" "Well, as you know, I've been mistreated at Konoha. From what the old man said before I killed him back then. He said he knew of my history. So, do you know as well?" Naruto asked. "Well, your father wouldn't really tell us anything," she said. "He just tell us bits and detail here and there that you were mistreated badly." Naruto stepped forward as, on instincts, she stepped back. "Don't be afraid," he said, as he placed 2 fingers on her forehead, as it was like everything happened in a second, but her mind understood everything as she saw the amount of suffering he went through. When he stepped back, she looked at him in shock. "What's with the face?" he said. "How could they do that to you?" "Huh, now you understand," Naruto said. "So do you understand why I have to make them pay?" As she looked at him, she didn't want to say yes, but she saw what he went through as a child. He could be no more than 6 or 7 years old, and he was tortured beyond disbelief. She heard of other villages hating Jinchuriki, but not to this extent. Hurting a boy like him with kunai, stabbing him, beating the life out of him. And what she saw shocked her, as she couldn't understand why don't you hate your family more, she asked, as she was curious, as she saw them watching as he get beaten. At first, his 2 sisters wanted to stop it, but as the time went by, they didn't do anything. They heard his screams and they walked by like nothing happened. Even though they had a sad look on their face, they still didn't do anything. He was their brother. "Well, I do hate them," Naruto said, "but they're still my family, and I am going to give them a chance." "Well, you can say I am curious. Back then they chose Konoha over me. So let's see what they do this time." "And what if they choose Konoha again?" she asked. "Well, it won't be pleasant," Naruto said. "You still haven't told me why you're here," she said to him. "Well, having gotten last night, all about my emotion and all that, I realized something. I am this all-powerful being. I don't know if death can stand in my way, Naruto said. Are you saying that you're immortal? She asks. Well, that's something for you to find out, Naruto said to her. And how exactly am I supposed to find that out? Well, you are going to be on the battlefield. You're going to see the glorious war between me and the strongest ninjas who they put up against me. And not to mention, in the upcoming future, you will see things that you never imagined exist in this world. What do you mean by that? She asks. Well, I won't spoil the surprise, Naruto said to her. I never thought I would say this, but upon touching your head a minute ago, I saw something. What? I thought you only showed me something. Well, yes, but you're mine. Send something to mine. It seems like you're rather desperate for a husband. What? She said, as she looked at him with an angry scowl. Well, desperate is not... Yeah, that's the right word, Naruto said. You don't want to get old, you want to get married before you do. How does that concern you? Well, you see, recently, because of not having my emotions, I never felt anything. Not for any woman or anyone. It was slowly seeping away from me. But now having them all back, I realize, after all this is over, I won't be enjoying my life. He then stepped forward as she stepped back. As he stepped forward, as she was leaning against the wall. You're too close, she said to him. So how about it, Naruto said. If you can see the bigger picture. You want to be with someone who truly cares for you and love you, I can feel that. And I want someone to be at my side as well. And you being with the most powerful man in the world. That surely would be nice for you, Naruto said. Arrogant or weak, she said to him. Well, it's not arrogance when you know you are the strongest, he said. How about I take you out on a date? She looked at him rather surprised, as she didn't even know how to react to that. You're the most wanted man in this world. You have done countless terrible things, going around destroying, almost destroying Kumo and the sand. You just told me that you were going to wipe out Konoha. Why the hell would you think I would be interested in you? I've read a lot of books, Naruto said, in my spare time, before being this. And I read something about the allure to darkness. And you have that. You act all innocent and nice. Well, not in that regard that much, but I can see it. You prize yourself as a wonderful human being. But inside of you, there's a part of you that wants your feathers to be ruffled. You don't want to be with anyone that you know are weak. You want someone who can show you a good time and also be there for you and strong and protective. The way he was talking, she didn't know why, but she was blushing, as she was angry for that. But she shook her head, those thoughts, no. This man was evil, she couldn't be with him. Naruto then stepped back. That's just a piece of what I have to say. But the real reason I came here for, I want you to talk to your village. Since the last meeting, Naruto says as he sat down, I have given the Kages 10 days. 10 days for them to come up with an option. I told them to lay down their weapons. And I take everything. And I take over everything. Or, I know which way they're going to choose. They're going to attack me. They're going to gather up all their forces and come to the sound. I want you and your ninjas to be there as well. To take care of the troublesome maggots. Some of them are not even worth my time. So I'm going to lead the real battle away from the sound. I will be taking on the 4 Kages. And I'm sure that they will bring some expert ninjas with them to face me as well. I won't kill any of them, Naruto said. Huh? Yes, I won't kill them. I will show them that they're nothing. My goal here is to break their spirit. So how does Konoha fit into all of this, she said. Well, right after, I'm going to pay Konoha a visit. After breaking my father's spirit, I'm going to see if he still has the balls to stand up for that village. And my sister and mother as well. I will see if they still have that courage inside of them to face me in battle. And as for the rest of the people, she asks, they are just scums that need to be eradicated from this world. And that's what I intend to do, he said as he stood up. Well, that's mostly what I came here to say. He then flashed her a sweet smile. See you soon, he said. And with that he vanished. She slumped down into her chair, as she didn't know why, but she was feeling all hot with him getting so close to her. Damn it, she cursed herself. He wasn't right. She didn't have any allure to darkness. Why was he even saying that? He was just a naive, evil person. He couldn't be right, could he? She shook her head, even though she has to listen to what he say because right now, she's against the entire world as well for helping him. And if they fail, Kiri will surely be destroyed. A day later. So, how's Sasuke doing, Naruto asked, as Menma was currently in his office. Well, he's recovering from having the eyes transplanted. But the medics said that he will be okay. Huh, that's good, Naruto said. And how is everything else? Well, in case of the village, Gurren has been doing a wonderful job. Hearing Gurren's name, Naruto chuckled a bit. What's so funny? Asked Menma. I saw you, you know. Saw me? Yes, I saw you that day. What are you talking about? Well, my emotions were, as you know, off. So I didn't really say anything about it. But now, I can say it. I saw you sneaking from Gurren's house when Yukimaru came home. As Menma's face became all shades of red. You saw that? Exactly. So Menma, how was it, Naruto said? I don't know what you're talking about, Menma said as he turned his head. You just admit it to me. Damn it, said Menma to himself. Well, I guess I got caught. So, when did this start, Naruto asked? Well, you see, after coming here and being together for so long, I didn't even know when myself, but one night we were drinking, talking about the future and all that, and it just sort of happened. The next thing I knew, the next morning I was waking up to see Gurren, and she was telling me to get out. Get out? Naruto said. Well, it is recent, and she didn't want Yukimaru to find out that way. She wanted to tell him herself. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yukimaru is like her son, Naruto said. Yeah, said Menma. So she didn't want him to find out that way. So she rushed me out, and I'm guessing that's the day when you saw me. Exactly, Naruto said, as he then burst out in laughter. What's so funny now? Asked Menma. Oh, it's nothing, Naruto said. It's just how things have changed. That long ago, I was back at Konoha. When we first knew each other, I didn't trust you one bit. I thought that you were just there to try and trick me as well. But if I had turned down your advances, right now, I wonder how things would have went. I've been wondering that as well, said Menma. What if we hadn't become friends? What if things didn't turn out this way? That would be a strange partner to say. But nevertheless, I'm glad. I'm glad that everything turned out well. Hearing that Menma smile. You truly have returned, he said. When you absorbed that Kaguya woman and the Tail Tail, you were acting different, but I never put anything on it. But I found it strange that you never smile or make jokes anymore. But now you're truly back. I am, Naruto said. Hey Menma, what's your favorite animal? Huh? Menma said confused. What kind of question is that? I just want to know, said Naruto. Well, if I must say, probably lion. Huh? Lion, Naruto said. Well, that's good. What are you going to do with that information? Asked Menma. Well, something rather important. I want you to meet me tonight, around 8 p.m. See ya, Naruto said as he vanished. Meanwhile, Conan, Karin and Liz was walking around the village when Naruto suddenly appeared in front of three of them. He held on to Liz and he vanished. What the hell? Said Conan. That's just like him, said Karin. Just vanishing like that. He took her with him, Conan said. I wonder what he's up to. Liz then appeared. As she was on top of his tower, she looked around. What the hell is wrong with you, dragging me away like that? What do you want? She said. You know it's not nice to talk to your ruler in that disrespectful tone, he said to her. Ruler? She said to him. If anything, I am the real ruler of the sound. And what makes you say that? Naruto said. Because I am the leader of both you and Menma. It has always been that way. Hearing that, Naruto chuckled as she stepped forward to glare at him. Say otherwise, I dare you, she said. As Naruto laughed even more. Hey, stop laughing, she said. As she then went silent for a few seconds as she hugged him. As Naruto looked at her, what's wrong, he said to her. Well, I'm just happy that you're back. It's been a while since I saw you laugh. It was hurting me to know that something wasn't really right with you. Huh? Naruto said. I didn't want to say anything because I thought that you were just different. You have changed. That you weren't really along with me, you, and Menma team anymore. What are you talking about? Naruto said. You guys are my family after all. I put you guys above everything. It was just really weird back then, she said to him. I told you once before, haven't I? I will never leave you or Menma, he said to her. I'm just glad that you're back here, she said. Now, what is it that you bring me up here for, she asked. I just want to know what's your favorite animal, he said. My favorite animal? You know, I read in a scroll about dragons. Yeah, they seem pretty cool. I saw their description anyway from a long time scroll. I was the one that gave you that scroll, Naruto said. About the Uzumaki arts, that is what you're talking about. Yeah, oh yeah, you were the one that gave me to me. A long time back. And from that I thought they were the coolest. Well, that's doable, Naruto said. What are you talking about, she asked. I want you to meet me tonight at 8, Naruto said. And with that he flashed away. As she looked around, why the hell did he bring me up here for? Just to ask me what my favorite animal is? As she chuckled, wondering if this was one of his pranks. He could have brought her back down on the ground, but no, he left her way up here. Later that night, Naruto saw Liz and Menma coming, as the both of them met each other in the way. He told you to come here as well? Yeah, said Liz. As they were outside of the village, a distance away, in a waste field. What's going on, said Menma. Well, I realized something a long time ago. My emotions were slipping, so I didn't really thought about it, but I realized something. I can't do this all by myself. I might be powerful, but as I told you, other Otsutskis are coming, and they're powerful as well. And I don't know the challenge that I will face in the future. And I need you guys by my side, the both of you. What exactly are you going to do? Asked Menma. As Naruto closed his eyes, his horns then extended from his forehead, as his hair spread out and started to blow around, but no wind was blowing. He snapped his eyes open, as his Rinne Sharingan shined brightly. Suddenly, the moon, Naruto Rinne Sharingan appeared on it as Naruto looked up into the sky, as everyone in the world stopped where they are. As they saw the moon, just shining down on them and that image on it. As Minato recognized it quickly as he looked through his window, that was the shape of Naruto's eyes. All the other villages, Kages, saw it. The moon reflection didn't wash over Kiri though. The rest of the nations, the moon reflection washed over them. It was like a different aura watching over the entire place, except for Kiri and the sound. For the rest of the nations, a light shined over them, and their eyes turned into Naruto Rinne Sharingan. They then raised their hand up in the air, as chakra started to pour from them, every single person from the world, except for the sound and Kiri, as chakra was just flowing up into the sky going straight towards the moon. But after a few seconds it ended, and everyone collapsed. It didn't kill them, it just drew a great portion of their chakra. Say as if they were at 100%, they were now at 10%. It would take at least 2 to 3 days for their chakra to be fully replenished. As that just hit the world that night. Meanwhile in Menma and Liz, they saw Naruto standing there as an aura started to stretch out from his body. A black mist surrounded him. The black mist started to form in his palm as he held out both palms, as two black balls started to form directly in his palms. Suddenly, something shot down from the moon and hit the black balls. As they started to glow, as they turned white, as they saw more black aura leaking from Naruto, fusing into the white balls, giving it a half white and a half black look. As it was like yin and yang, light and darkness. as Naruto then slammed his hands together as the two black balls were floating in the air. But guys, we'll be ending this episode right here. If you want the next part of this, or know what to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn the bell notifications they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in social media platform, and stay in tune for What If Orochimaru was Naruto's father. I also post a new episode of What If Naruto was from the two greatest clans, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And over on Anime King 2, I post a new episode of What If Naruto was a god amongst man, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy, guys. And yeah, remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, guys. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, I'm off for now. See you guys over at Anime King 2. Peace.